balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic. Providing context on today's events, this is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. Well, Bam, yes, I would suggest that. I'm sorry about that. That's too bad. Yeah, I would suggest, potentially suggest going back to them, or let me know what's going on. If you can't go anywhere with that. All right. I don't know what crickets you're hearing, buddy. But I'm here. Anyway. Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It's apparently FBI Friday. Like Department of Justice FBI Friday. Yeah, there's a bunch of all of a sudden a slew of things came out with regards to the FBI making some moves. Not only FBI, but there was a DEA bust here close by, and some other announcements with regards to things going on around the world, and we're going to cover that. Well, around the U.S. anyway, and we're going to cover all that here in just a minute. Tonight we have Bonnie. Bonnie is up for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me, and place your hand over your heart and follow along with Bonnie as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got to tell you, I love the crickets in the background. That's just fantastic. It must have been nighttime when you did that. But anyway, there you go. If you would like to hear your rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge in your style and take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and send it on in. Email it to me. And you do that at fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans at AmericanPerspective.online. And there you go. All right, tonight's headline sponsor is theflagshirt.com. Folks, I got to tell you, The Flag Shirt, just a fantastic place to go to get patriotic wear for men, women, and kids, along with all kinds of patriotic accessories. You can go over there to theflagshirt.com and you can pick up shirts that look like mine. I wear a lot of them. I am partial to the men's cotton polos. I wear them almost all the time on the program. They have some fantastic colors and styles. This one that I'm in right now is the Liberty Bell, We the People version. And I got to tell you, it's comfortable. They fit nice. They're just... they're fantastic patriotic clothing. And I've had some Whiskey Warrior P1s pick up a shirt or two, and they've been complimented on them. So you know that I'm not just pulling your leg here about this. So head on over to theflagshirt.com and check out all of their patriotic styles that they have. And if you order $75 or more of their product, they will give you free shipping. But I know not everybody wants to order $75 or more. I get it. Or maybe you can't. I get that too. Maybe there's only one shirt that you like. Well, I get that as well. That being said, I'm going to help you out. If you head over to flagshirt.americanperspective.online, That's flagshirt.americanperspective.online. You will be presented with a coupon code that you can copy and paste into the promo box at checkout at theflagshirt.com and get $5 off your order. Go to flagshirt.americanperspective.online, grab that coupon code, copy it, and then go over to the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com, and you can paste that code in and get $5 off your order on American Perspective. Go to theflagshirt.com and get yourself patriotized. Yeah, see, Fat Paws has his on. That's the way it is, man. Let me tell you, they got some great ones, great styles. You got to go and check them out. And occasionally they run promos and sales and things like that. It's just fantastic. You know what would really make my day is if I saw VP Vance chugging beer in a theflagshirt.com shirt. That would be fantastic, I gotta tell you. Well, we got close. VP Vance apparently went and chugged some beer with U.S. troops at Ramstein Air Base in Germany. That's right. He apparently stopped there on his way back from India, from his trip to India, and he reportedly sipped a beer, signed a kegerator, and also danced with an airwoman. By that, I mean a female airman. Okay. In a Thursday night visit with the troops at Ramstein-Muisenbach, Germany. So Vance asked all the troops in a video that was posted on C-SPAN, he says, "What kind of beer we got here? Is this good German beer?" "Yes. Okay, let's see what we got." And he goes, "All right, to the airmen of this base and the airwoman of this base and all of our troops serving overseas, God bless you guys and cheers." And, yeah, so there you go. He signed the kegerator that the beer was being served from on request from an Air Force Master Sergeant named of Anthony Davis, according to a press pool report. He goes, "To Anthony, this is great, a work of genius, J.D. Vance." That's what he signed on it. So yeah. Oh, it's just fantastic. Anyway, apparently the beer that was being served was Benedictiner Hell Lager is what was being served. And he told Davis, he goes, "This thing is awesome," when he asked him to sign it. He also apparently granted an airwoman a request for a quick dance. Hopefully his wife didn't disapprove of that. But anyway, he, yeah. Vance told the troops also when he was handed the beer stein, the German beer stein, he was like, "We're so proud of you. We're so grateful for what you do. We see some families here. We know military service, especially at the level you guys do it, is an incredible sacrifice, not just for all of you, but for the whole team. So we're grateful to you. We're proud to be here celebrating with you guys." And he continued and says, "As the general said, we know that you guys are one of the most important parts of how we project power overseas. We refuel our missions. We deliver cargo. We deliver weapons if we have to. We deliver humanitarian assistance to people who need it. So I'm just so grateful to you guys for what you do. As an Iraq War veteran myself, I know that this is a place that a lot of wounded warriors came before they came home." That's what's been needed, folks. That's what's been needed. We have needed a commander-in-chief, in this case, a deputy commander-in-chief, who respects the troops, hangs out with the troops, and shows the troops just how much they are valuable. Because let's face it, if there were no soldiers that were willing to go and volunteer and fight for our freedoms, we wouldn't have them. And toward that end, I want to make a little small announcement. My business partner and I were talking about this. If you haven't listened to Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio yet, you really should. Just so you're aware, we are working on, or at least I'm going to say he is working on, getting salutes to the troops put together. He's got, he's trying out a couple of different public service announcements with regards to the troops. We respect the veterans, service members, police, fire, anyone who basically gives their time and energy in service to others, in the case of and for America. So if you're listening to Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio, you're going to hear more stuff like that. We've got some great stuff coming and planning in the works for a lot of that. So you might want to check it out sometime. But anyway, all right. Well, that VP Vance, I mean, chugging beer, let's be honest, that's like one of the things that I got to tell you. The military, at least when I was in the military, when I was in the service, and I spent a couple of months over in Germany, that was something, but even outside of Germany, I mean, Germany's known for its beer. Let's just put it that way. And I will tell you, it is definitely a different taste in terms of the beer over there, because they like it warm, not cold, and they like it really hoppy, and have like a thick coating at the bottom, depending upon what beer you're getting, but they have they have a coating at the bottom. They don't filter it like we do over here. But anyway, or at least they didn't back then. But anyway, the point is that JD Vance apparently knows that is important and is able to go and do that. It's unlike having the president of the United States, the last regime, where he's standing there making a joke and then clap for that, you stupid bastards, like Joe Biden said. Yeah, that's not the case. Not the case with this administration. They will support the troops. And that's been reflected, by the way, in terms of their recruitment numbers. Their recruitment numbers have been going up and have been rising ever since Trump and JD have taken office. So that is fantastic. I'm at least pleased to see Vice President Vance going and seeing the troops. Well, the lion himself is going into the lion's den. What am I talking about? Well, Trump has agreed to an interview with a longtime lying media foe. He has agreed, or he announced that he would be meeting with The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg. For those that don't know, Jeffrey Goldberg is the moron editor of The Atlantic who put out that whole suckers and losers hoax and put out that falsehood that he didn't want to go to a World War II memorial over in France because of the people were suckers and losers and the veterans and everything else, and that he hated the veterans. And it just blew up into this whole massive thing. Once again, another hoax, totally debunked, by the way, by a bunch of different people. And I mean, like, more than 10 people who were there all debunked the story. But no, the left keeps going on and on and on about it. It's a bunch of crap. It is a bunch of crap. But this just shows you the type of person, honestly, that Donald Trump actually is. Because unlike Kamala Harris or even Tim Walz, unlike them, he is willing to go in front of what essentially is bound to be a firing squad. I mean, let's just face it, Goldberg actually wants to bring some help as well. He's bringing with him, reportedly, Michael Shearer and Ashley Parker. And Trump pointed out that they're not exactly pro-Trump writers either. So he is basically going 3-on-1 with this meeting. So we'll just have to see what the heck happens when it comes out. When the piece finally comes out about it. But yeah. Anyway, not to mention the fact that Jeffrey Goldberg, don't forget, is part of that Signalgate BS, where he was blaming Pete Hegseth for all of this wonderful, classified information that got passed on. Yeah, right. There was nothing there. There was nothing operationally sensitive. Anyway. Well, let's do this. Let me go ahead and hit this real quick. All right. So, folks, obviously, I start my day with coffee. I like my coffee to be bold and brisk, and it's got to wake me up because I get up early in the morning, really early. I have, like I've shown you on the program, I have a cup that is worth 2 cups of coffee. It's a 16-ouncer. Let's just put it that way. Well, weak coffee is for the weak. And at Rumble, weak has never been a part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity. Just like 1775 coffee. That's right. 1775 coffee is single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out bullshit when it matters. Forget stale mass-produced beans roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And, of course, the Vitality Mushroom Blend, well, that is real energy and lasting focus with no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole beans, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775 Coffee. That's 1775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO for 15% off. Once again, go to 1775coffee.com and use promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, to get 15% off your order. Go to 1775coffee.com, use promo code STUDIO for 15% off your order, and start your morning with coffee that actually stands for something. And by the way, every dollar spent enters you for a chance to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 in cash. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's all one word, 1775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO, get your 15% off, and get entered to win that Cybertruck and that $30,000 in cash. You can also hit the QR code that's right over here. Right there. There we go. I got to get my finger up a little bit. It's right over there. There's the QR code. Anyway. All right. That. Yay. Okay. Well, there was an interesting interview. Now, I'm not much of a Steve Bannon fan, to be honest with you. I really, I don't know. There's certain people that I know are like darlings of the right that I just can't get into. But in this particular case, there was an interview that Steve Bannon was doing with a Trump ally by the name of Mike Davis. And Mike Davis revealed something that was kind of interesting for it. This was on the War Room with Steve Bannon. Let's go and take a listen really quick. Ooh. As soon as I get this up here. There we go. So let's take a listen to this.
I just had several meetings at the Trump Justice Department. I met with the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, the acting number 3, Chad Mizell, and the incoming number 3, Stanley Woodward. And I want to reassure the War Room posse that they are very much on top of what's happening in our country, right? And just because you're not seeing criminal indictments right now does not mean they're not coming. They are very much incoming.
I want you to go back to that team because that's pretty impressive. This is not President Trump's first term Justice Department. Walk through who the players are, starting with Pam.
So Pam Bondi is the Attorney General. She is a rock solid constitutionalist. She's bold. She's fearless. She's not being flashy about what she's doing behind the scenes.
Okay.
She is very much doing things behind the scenes.
We love Pam.
Yes.
Okay, who else?
She's great. We have
She's great.
Todd Blanche,
Fabulous.
the Deputy Attorney General.
Took the president on as a client when nobody else would touch it.
And got ostracized for
ostracized.
it. Now these law firms are scrambling for Todd's blessing.
Yes.
Now, let's just put it that way.
Yes.
And, good luck to those law firms, especially law firms like Perkins Coie. Good luck.
So he's the deputy.
He's the Deputy Attorney General. He runs the day-to-day of the department. Chad Mizell is Pam's Chief of Staff, who's also the acting number 3, the acting Associate Attorney General.
Is he going to stay? He's doing a great job as Chief of Staff. Is he going to go to be number 3 and give up Chief? He'll stay as Chief.
He's staying as Chief of Staff, which is more important for Chad. It's just more important. Stanley Woodward is going to be the Associate Attorney General once he gets confirmed.
He's moving from the White House.
He's already there. He's already there.
Over at DOJ.
Yeah, he's counselor to the AG right now.
And he was Navarro's lawyer.
Yeah, he was Stanley Woodward's, Walt Nada's.
Yeah.
Was Stanley Woodward was Walt Nada's attorney, the co-defendant on the presidential records case.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a little bit more, obviously, but I don't want to take everything out of the whole clip. I mean, you can watch the clip if you want to finish the clip off. But the key point here is that he is basically saying he was in a meeting with several of the key personnel at the Justice Department, and his message is that the Justice Department, things are coming. Things are coming. That just because you're not seeing criminal indictments right now, he says, does not mean they're not coming. He says they're very much incoming. So this is kind of a positive message, especially for those of us who are a little disillusioned over the Pam Bondi release of the quote-unquote Epstein files, okay? But the Epstein files didn't really have much in the way of new information that we didn't already know. So it's, it's a little disconcerting, but I can tell you this, that the wheels of justice do turn slow. And some of us, okay, get a little frustrated with that speed. But you need to understand that things are likely to come around. I mean, you have Kash Patel, you have Dan Bongino, and honestly, even though I know neither one of those people personally, I get the feeling that Dan Bongino's not going to sit around on his hands to basically keep things rolling. There is several stuff that he specifically called out on his program, but in his podcast before he walked away to join the FBI, and he's just, I just don't see him necessarily sitting on his hands doing nothing. I would imagine they've got to get, and to keep in mind as well that one of the things that has to happen in the justice system in this particular case, especially when you're going after people who've been gaming the system for quite some time, that you literally have to build an airtight case. You can't have any potential holes, loopholes, openings in the net, none of it, because you cannot let these people get loose. Once they are caught, they have to be caught. And these, apparently, some of the people they're going after are some of the slipperiest suckers on the planet, because they've been gaming the system for quite some time without any repercussions or recourse. So I can understand why things would be moving slow. Well, apparently, we might be breaking open the small but intricate glimpse into what is potentially coming for some of the bigger fish. we're starting to see some smaller fish get picked up. And by that, I mean, in particular, a former New Mexico judge and his wife, Judge Joel Cano, and his wife are facing charges of evidence tampering, according to booking reports. Yes, they were arrested and booked for evidence tampering. Now, you'll recall that this judge was the one that stepped down after his house got raided in an ICE raid, and ICE picked up a Tren de Aragua member from his house. And so anyway, they were so this is from the piece, from the Epoch Times piece. Former Dona Ana County Magistrate Judge Joel Cano and his wife, Nancy Cano, were taken into custody on Thursday after authorities raided their home in New Mexico amid reports and court papers stated that an alleged Tren de Aragua gang member was arrested living in a building behind his home. Inmate booking reports released by the Dona Ana County Detention Center show that Cano and his wife face charges of evidence tampering. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem reposted video footage on the social media platform X of the moment when the couple was arrested. The footage shows Cano handcuffed, speaking to multiple FBI officers outside of what appears to be a residence. His wife, who was also handcuffed, is later led toward a vehicle by Homeland Security personnel. Noem wrote alongside the post, quote, "Under President Trump, we have arrested over 150,000 aliens, including more than 600 members of the vicious Tren de Aragua gang. If you are here illegally and break the law, we will hunt you down, arrest you, and lock you up. That's a promise." So the couple was allegedly living with a guy named Christian Ortega Lopez, who was a Venezuelan illegal alien, at their home in Las Cruces, roughly 40 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, Ortega Lopez was arrested in February, according to a statement from the Department of Justice, ICE. And they said that in a March 11th statement that Lopez is suspected of being affiliated with the gang. And now the gang, of course, keep in mind, was declared a terrorist organization by the Trump administration back in February. The DOJ said that Lopez, who entered the U.S. illegally on December 15th of 2023, he was released pending removal proceedings, was charged with being an illegal immigrant in possession of a firearm or ammunition. Now, a court paper filed by federal prosecutors earlier in April, which sought to block the release of Lopez, included the names Joel and Nancy Cano and said the suspect was living in their Las Cruces home at the time of arrest. The papers did not provide age, occupation, or other details about the Canos. So there you go. We have one judge down who apparently, and his wife, who apparently were harboring a fugitive. Now, some people are like, well, wait a minute, just harboring a fugitive, that's not anything bad. I mean, that shouldn't be illegal, right? Oh, no. In fact, I hear the sound. I hear the sound of the bulldog. That's right, Tom Holman, who pointed out that 8 U.S. Code 1324 was a potential law that was going to be broken. Now, he was referring to AOC in particular because, yeah, here it is. Our good old buddies over at Cornell Law School. Title 8 U.S. Code 1324, bringing in and harboring certain aliens. Well, here it is. Any person who, knowing that a person is an alien, brings to or attempts to bring to the United States in any manner whatsoever, etc., etc., knowingly or, knowingly or in reckless disregard of the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the United States in violation of law, transports, moves, or attempts to transport or move such an alien within the United States, so on and so forth. And part number 3 down here, knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the United States in violation of law, this person who conceals, harbors, or shields from detection or attempts to conceal, harbor, or shield from detection such alien in any place, including any building or any means of transportation. That's right, folks. That is right. It is against the law. And you know what the punishment is? Anybody who is in violation of any of those, plus a few more that I didn't read, could be fined under Title 18 and imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. Yeah. That's right. They could be fined for up to 10 years. Or they could also be fined up to 5 years. Or they could be fined up to 20 years. Especially if the person, the alien, causes serious bodily injury. So in other words, when you harbor a fugitive from justice, which is exactly what an illegal alien actually is, when you harbor a fugitive from justice, you can yourself be charged. And if that fugitive from justice, in this case an illegal alien, goes and happens to kill another person or cause bodily injury to another individual and was living with you at the time, guess what? You get charged as well as an accessory because you were the cause of bringing him here. You were the cause of them staying here. Well, it's not just one former judge who is finding that out. The left has jumped all on board trying to agree with, be a part with, whatever. You know, standing in solidarity. I have no idea why they seem to love all of this about the illegal aliens, not only in New Mexico, but also a Wisconsin judge by the name of Hannah Dugan was also arrested by the FBI for allegedly helping, a violent illegal alien evade ICE in her courtroom. Now, wait a minute. I just read to you Title 8, U.S. Code 1324. And now this Wisconsin judge, Hannah Dugan, or Duggan, however you want to pronounce it, has just been arrested for it. Now, she's a veteran Wisconsin judge. She was arrested today for allegedly helping a Mexican illegal alien evade ICE agents in her courtroom. And this is according to Kash Patel. Judge Hannah Duggan, or Dugan, however you want to pronounce it, who has been on the Milwaukee County bench for nearly a decade, was nabbed on an obstruction charge after she was accused of interfering in Eduardo Flores Ruiz's arrest last week. Kash Patel said in an X post, quote, "We believe Judge Duggan, or Dugan, whatever it is, intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, allowing the subject, who was an illegal alien, to evade arrest." Now, don't forget what I just read to you about U.S. Code Title 8, Section 1324. If this guy She helped him. And if he harmed somebody else, guess what? She could be going to jail for 20 years, plus a kind of fine, any kind of fine. So Cash continued and said, thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But the judge's obstruction created an increased danger to the public. Patel later deleted the X post announcing Duggan's arrest for reasons that were not immediately clear. Now, she appeared briefly in Milwaukee federal court on Friday morning before being released on her own recognizance, or ROR'd. Her attorney, Craig Mastantuono, said during the proceeding, Judge Duggan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not made in the interest of public safety. Really? It wasn't. You as a judge, lady, who freaking allowed this guy to avoid arrest from ICE, or at least that's the charge. And what happens? Well, apparently Ruiz had appeared before Duggan, or Dugan. I think it's Dugan. Anyway, April 18th for a pretrial conference on 3 misdemeanor battery charges. Oh, wait a minute. Does that fall into that harms another person? Ooh, maybe. ICE agents showed up outside. Now, this is the alleged part. ICE agents showed up outside the courtroom with a federal warrant, but were asked by court officials to wait until the hearing had ended before cuffing him, according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Before the agents could enter, though, the judge directed Ruiz and his lawyer out of a side door and through a private hallway in order to avoid apprehension. Seriously? Oh, judge. Yeah. So I think she's stepped in it. She has really stepped in it. By the way, her next appearance is scheduled for May 15th. Ruiz, meanwhile, is now being held in ICE custody at the Dodge Detention Facility in Juneau, about 50 miles northwest of Milwaukee, according to records. And that all of that comes out of the New York Post. Judge. Well, Pam Bondi, of course, has some details, probably more than what I could tell you. But here we'll just take a quick listen to what Pam Bondi had to say with regards to this entire situation.
I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of 2 decapitated victims, decapitated, gruesome photos, and he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these two, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
Wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay, wait a minute. So they get... Wait, hold on, though. This is the New Mexico judge. Go back here. Wait a second. Let's go back here to 8 U.S. Code 1324. A person, in the case of a violation of the subparagraphs above, talking about it, or during and in relation to which the person causes serious bodily injury, as defined in another section, 1365 of Title 18, or places in jeopardy the life of any person, will be fined under Title 18, imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Uh-oh. This New Mexico judge and his wife are going to be in some serious problems. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, you can kiss that guy goodbye. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you know, there are times, I'm serious, there are times where you sit there and you kind of look at this and you're like, man, I was fully expecting Trump to come in and be like a bull in a china shop and just freaking start taking people out and taking stuff out and everything else. And you've got to remember, though, we're not even really, I mean, where's my math whiz? Hey, Nana, if she's in the chat, where's my math whiz? Where are we at in terms of Trump's second term? Have we even hit 100 days? I don't think so, because he was supposed to do, or he was planning on doing a rally at his 100 days. I don't even think we've hit 100 days yet. This kind of thing, I mean, I like seeing it, believe me. This is a good thing that we need to be, that we as Americans need to see. Oh, it's 100. There's Nana. See, told you. Nana's my girl. When it comes to the math thing, that is for sure. 100 days on the 29th. So today's the 25th. We're 4 days out from it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The very, very tip top of the iceberg. And I have a feeling there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more that are coming. Well, it's not just judges that are holding illegal immigrants that have been, or illegal aliens, I should say. The DEA, not to be outdone, also jumped in with this. And this is actually in my neck of the woods, so this is a good thing. This in American military news. Now, you would think that the mainstream media would be talking about all of this crap, but no, they can't, because that goes against their sensibilities when it comes to Trump. Well, here, there was a major drug trafficking bust that happened that led to 46 arrests. The Drug Enforcement Administration's Seattle Field Division announced on Tuesday that 46 Honduran nationals, let me read that again, 46 Honduran nationals linked to the Sinaloa cartel were arrested for drug trafficking in a series of drug enforcement missions in Portland, Oregon, over the last few months. In the Tuesday press release, the DEA announced a multi-agency fentanyl enforcement operation resulting in dozens of arrests and the seizure of drugs, firearms, and cash in Portland, Oregon. Honduran drug traffickers working for the Sinaloa cartel infiltrated Portland, flooding the area with deadly fentanyl and other drugs. The press release stated, the focus of this investigation was to interrupt the open-air drug market in Multnomah County. The DEA Seattle Division noted in the press release that 46 drug traffickers were arrested in the recent multi-agency operation. According to the Post-Millennial, while the DEA described the arrested drug traffickers as Honduran nationals, federal law enforcement sources have since told the outlet that the drug traffickers are likely illegal aliens. And you sit here and wonder why the Democrats are hooking their frickin' wagon, their little red wagon, up to these people. Okay? Really? I mean, seriously. So, in addition to the 46 arrests, the DEA also picked up $204,007 in cash, 20 different firearms, 2,507 fentanyl pills, and 44 pounds of fentanyl powder. In addition to 22 pounds of methamphetamines, 9 pounds of cocaine, and 2 pounds of heroin. 44 pounds of fentanyl powder. Folks, how many people could that kill? A lot. I don't even know the math on that one. I'm not even going to ask my resident math geek to try and figure that out, because I can tell you that it doesn't take much. Fentanyl is so damn strong, it doesn't take much. Anyway. So, the DOJ has all of a sudden woken up. And they are starting to take on some stuff. Well, this also, too, this is another good one. Okay, Trump has also asked, well, ordered, okay, the DOJ to start investigating the Democrat fundraising platform Act Blue over alleged illegal donations. This stuff cannot come quick enough, I'm telling you. I want to see I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this kind of stuff. So his executive order directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate claims that Act Blue enabled straw donations or foreign money in campaigns. Now, you know as well as I do that this actually did happen. We know it happened because it was shown to have happened by undercover news journalists, actual journalists, who went through and did this. Okay. So the probe is also going to involve the Treasury Department, and it has 180 days to report their findings. The Democrats, of course, call this move a blatantly unlawful attempt to stifle opposition ahead of the 2024 election. Well, I think they meant 2026 election. Personally, I hope that is what they do. I hope that's what they do. I hope they look into it. And I hope they find something, because Act Blue is another one of those Democrat laundering dark money machines that have been able to create the disparaging difference that we have out there with all of this. O'Keefe Media Group, I think, was one of them. Yes. Sorry. Ms. T of Tex on Rumble asks if O'Keefe Media Group was one of the ones that identified Act Blue. I know it was one of those undercover ones. And they were asking some older folks, they would go up and they'd say, hey, did you donate, X $100,000 or whatever it was to Act Blue? And the person would be like, no, there's no way I could have donated that much money or whatever it was. Because of what they were probably doing is gaining these people's information, these personal information, in order to act as proxies to cover up the massive multi-million-dollar donations that were going in to the Act Blue systems. They basically faked a bunch of names to make it look like there were a bunch of small or smaller donations that were running in there rather than the one big, massive multi-million-dollar donation that some multi-million-dollar moron or some foreign multi-million-dollar entity, not saying that they did this, but places like Qatar and Hamas and Iran and some of these other places that are enemies of the United States that are attempting to get things taken care of. Yeah, well, Act Blue definitely needs to be taken a look at. And I hope that they find what they need to. So, the FBI, of course, wasn't done. This article in Just the News demonstrates that the FBI has raided homes of alleged anti-Israel protesters who demonstrated at the University of Michigan. One pro-Palestine group said the protesters were raided because of their views on the Israel war with Hamas in Gaza. The group claimed that there were 8 protesters who were detained and 4 homes that were raided. Yeah. The FBI announced this on Wednesday, that they raided the homes of multiple anti-Israel Israel protesters who allegedly participated in demonstrations at the University of Michigan. The university was one of many schools that saw demonstrations last year over the war in Israel. The main protest was held at Columbia University in New York, but other schools like Harvard, the University of California, Los Angeles, that's UCLA for those that don't know, also saw protests. It's not clear what the raids were actually in response to, but the individuals are not being investigated for being in the country illegally, according to Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel's office. She told the National Review this. The arrests occurred in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor, and Canton, Michigan. So, oh, by the way, my resident math geek just found out or just posted, and this 44 pounds of fentanyl will apparently unalive over 12,100,000 people. Just think about that. 44 pounds of fentanyl will unalive, meaning kill, apparently 12,100,000 people, according to most sources. That's pretty freaking scary to think that just one location, Portland, Oregon, had that amount of fentanyl running around. Anyway. So, yeah. So there you go. So it looks like the FBI is starting to wake up. Anyway. Also, by the way, too, the FBI did announce this in the Populous Times, by the way, that Venezuela likely uses Tren de Aragua as a proxy to undermine the United States. So the FBI apparently made public some unclassified portions of a classified intelligence assessment, which found that the deadly Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang is more than likely a government proxy working to undermine the safety of Americans. Well, this would explain why it was designated a terrorist organization. Okay. But Andy No posted on X saying an FBI investigation finds there's evidence of Venezuelan Maduro government facilitates the migration of gang members into the U.S. to destabilize it. The tactic mirrors Belarus helping migrants swarm the EU by using Belarus as a transit point. So this is the assessment that was by the FBI, and that is part of the assessment that led President Trump to classify these foreign gangs, including TDA and MS-13, as foreign terrorist organizations. Trump has also described the illegal immigration crisis as a foreign invasion. And that's where he invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to facilitate the removal of the foreign citizens from across the country, and why the judges have been trying to block this from this. Anyway, Trump said during the campaign, this is an invasion. This is like a military invasion. Drugs, criminals, gang members, terrorists are pouring into our country at record levels. We've never seen anything like it. They are taking over our cities. And yes, that is true. That was what they were doing. So anyway, other countries that Venezuelan President Maduro likely uses gang to destabilize include Chile, Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia itself. The FBI expects the operation to spread across South America. The FBI has also warned that in the next 18 months, Maduro will use the gang to intimidate, abduct, and kill Venezuelans in the United States who are critical of his government. Now, an official told Fox News Digital that these findings should shock Americans, but not the law enforcement community. They reflect the sentiments of numerous other intelligence assessments from across multiple agencies. Now, why is it that these kinds of things have been coming out in the less than 100 days of Trump's administration, but yet the Biden administration had no such thing come out because of it? Well, I think we all know why. Because Biden wanted it. Biden wants to destabilize America. So do the Democrats. Yeah. Anyway, the Office of the DNI, which again is Tulsi Gabbard, also told Fox News that the Tren de Aragua gang benefits from the situation in Venezuela, and disclosed that the government gives sanctuary to TDA members and welcomes them back from the United States, likely to be deployed elsewhere across the region. Ironically, Maduro also agreed to accept Venezuelans deported from the United States, who initially mostly consisted of violent criminals and gang members. I wonder why that is the case. Why would he do that? Oh. Anyway. Well, folks, it looks like we've had a very prolific day in terms of the FBI and the DOJ doing their thing. Let's keep that going. I want to keep that going. I'd like to keep that going. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me for this evening. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Tomorrow night is Saturday. We are 1 hour later for that. That is 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Don't forget to hit those thumbs up and like buttons on your way out. I do appreciate it. You know what? Even if you want to give me a thumbs down, that's fine. I don't care. Just show me that you're listening. We will see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.